if I freeze, I'm passing it to you.
Live.
Awesome. Okay. Well, it is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. This is Put a Fork in It. If you are just joining us for the first time, whoops, we just lost
our guest.
There she goes. That was quick.
Show's over.
Yep. That was good. I'll keep introducing us and she'll hop back in hopefully. So if you're just joining us for the first time, this is Put a Fork in It, Grand Forks premiere Facebook Live interest theater topic show, whatever we have for the week. My name is Courtney Barstad-Logan. I'm a realtor with Remax Grand and on social media as Grand Cities Living. I'm going to pass it to my co-host and then we're going to get to our guest in case we lose her again. So take it away, Kimmy.
Hey everyone, I am Kimmy Efta with Remax Grand in my Grand Cities. I thought I was muted for a little bit. I'm excited to be here. We're excited to have our guests here today. It's Tuesday and it's cold. It's freaking cold right now.
Yeah, last I checked, it was -9. We are missing our third co-host, Scott Meyer with Benchmark Mortgage and District 18 Senator. He usually keeps us abreast of the situation with the weather. So I will give you that. It is -9, but good news is it's not -19. So we'll carry on with that. But
can we really tell the difference?
Yeah. We got to look at the positive side. So we are stoked to welcome our friend Hillery Mork to the show live from Fargo, South Fargo. What's the temperature like down there, Hillery?
I think it's about the same. It's pretty cold.
Okay. We were hoping maybe you got a little balmy. Yeah. Well, welcome. Hillery is here with Sanford Children's, and we have the pleasure of working closely with her as Remax is partnered with Children's Miracle Network, and Kimberly and I are huge fans of this partnership, and of course Hillery. So we just wanted to bring her on and share a little bit about Sanford Children's, the partnership we have with Remax, and maybe some breaking news. I don't know if you follow us a lot, Hillery, but usually people break some news. So if you have anything big coming up, now'd be the time.
Oh, sounds good.
So share a little bit about yourself and your work with Sanford Children's.
Sure. Well, I have been with the organization for over 20 years. I kind of started my career in healthcare with, at the time, AmeriCare, now Sanford. And really been leading the program of Children's Miracle Network for about 15 years now. What I love about Children's Miracle Network is all the different partners we get to work with, such as Remax, but 100% of funds raised by our partners stay local to help local kids that need the help at Sanford Children's Hospital. So it is because of our Children's Miracle Network partners and the support of our community that we're able to provide the best of the best for these kids, whether it's a program or service that is free to families, special equipment to help them get better, special equipment that helps distract these kids while they come into the Children's Hospital. It can be as simple as even a small toy or game that's also funded through Children's Miracle Network. So I always like to tell people that every single child that walks through our doors does benefit from Children's Miracle Network at some point in their care.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've had a kid. Oh, sorry. I've had a kid use Children's Miracle Network in the past in the NICU. My Otto, he was given blankets and clothes and everything while he was in the NICU. And anytime I was like, okay, like who do I thank and for this stuff? And they're just like, no, that was a donation for the Children's Miracle Network. So that stuff is just, when you're in that situation, it's so nice to have those donations.
Yeah, we live in such an amazing place, and we are so well supported by our community. And whether it's an individual or a business, we are so lucky to live here. And years ago, I had a representative from the National Office of Children's Miracle Network walk through our NICU when we were downtown at our old hospital. And he walked through and he said, wow, you have so much to be proud of because of the upgrades and all of the equipment. And he saw Children's Miracle Network stickers on a lot of that equipment. He said, you have something really to be proud of. He said, some of the bigger hospitals aren't as fortunate, to have this, the upgrade in the technology like what you have here at Sanford Children's. So we are so fortunate, and it is because of the partnership that we're able to do many, many wonderful things for kids.
We had the opportunity, it was probably probably 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, in a totally different world. Kim and I had the opportunity to go trick-or-treating and dress up in tour. And that was my first tour of the new children's hospital, and completely blown away by, the technology. One thing that I always share with people is the space that you have where families can like get together and eat, and people will provide meals, or if they want to just come in and, microwave something and sit and watch TV. After being in a hospital, even as a patient, you realize to get your headspace out of there, and to be able to do that was just really cool. And to see here's where meals are provided, or check out this gaming system. Like each room has this so the kids can play or, access different things. And it doesn't feel like a hospital in some of those spaces.
Yeah, when we built the new hospital, it was really important to, the environment is a very important piece of the healing process. And that was really also important with our children's hospital is we practice family-centered care, and we need to accommodate for the entire family, not just the child. So that is really important. We have you're talking kind of about our family space, or a family, call it a waiting room, but it's just a family area where it has a little kitchenette. It has laundry services that you can do your laundry if you need to. But we do have some restaurants that will bring in food. This was before the pandemic. So we're hoping to get that program started hopefully soon again. But they bring in food about every weekday, and it just gives those families an opportunity to be a family. Another really big area, of course, is Cully's Cabin, which is our amazing playroom. So we have a 3,000 square foot playroom thanks to the Cullen Children's Foundation, where they have provided just really an opportunity for these kids to experience different things that they normally wouldn't at home. So state-of-the-art gaming systems. We can do bingo in the kids' rooms. So we'll broadcast from Cully's and they can broadcast into their rooms. So we call it a Child Life TV channel 99. So even if these kids are in isolation, we still want to somehow include them, and we can do that now through technology. So it's been a pretty amazing opportunity that the Cullen Children's Foundation has offered us.
That's awesome.
And I love that space. It has like a hockey arena or a hockey rink inside it, which is pretty cool. And then is it a video or a gaming room or something? It was huge. We
have a teen space. It has 3 TVs up on the row, or up on the ceiling, or excuse me, on the wall. So we have PlayStation and an Xbox set up, as well as their smart TVs. So if they want to access their Netflix, they can also do that. So it's a pretty, we sometimes have kids that don't want to go home from the hospital because of Cully's Cabin.
I kind of want to go there just to play.
I always say this is the best room in the entire hospital. So we have a chandelier made out of hockey sticks, which I think is probably the most photographed piece in the entire hospital. But just such an amazing opportunity. And what this really has allowed for our staff and our kids to participate in has just, has been beyond our expectations. So it's been such a amazing place for these kids, and not only just to come and play, but it's large enough where these kids can kind of, drive little cars around that we have, or they can play floor hockey. Just because they're in the hospital doesn't mean that they can't be active. So it allows us to, give them that opportunity to really escape what they're going through in the hospital and be a kid. And that's really an important part of the healing process as well.
I think now Hillary and I worked together in a past life, if you will, on the dance marathon. College students put on fundraisers, dance marathon. And so, of course, when I joined Remax, I was so excited about that partnership, which I love. And I think we do get questions, especially about, CMN and not having a CMN hospital in Grand Forks, but knowing we have a CMN hospital that's 70 miles away. And as a parent now, I think your mind kind of shifts to a little bit, but knowing that those resources are so close to home, I always tell people it's like our state kids hospital as needed. And we know different hospitals throughout the state, if they don't have what is needed, that a lot of families are utilizing that. It's not a Fargo, stop. One of the families that I worked with to sell their house that I market as a miracle home, they loved it. Their little one was in the hospital right after he was born. And so, it is a place that's near and dear to so many people's hearts, regardless, of where you're living, because of the CMN link that we have.
Yeah, and really our census is that we care for 50% outside of the Fargo-Moorhead area. So like you said, Courtney, it is your state children's hospital. We care for kids from all across the region. We held our radiothon here in Fargo just a couple of weeks ago. And when I pulled the census, we had probably more kids from outside the Fargo-Moorhead area than we did Fargo. So that's really telling of, these kids are coming from all across the state, and it's really for that specialty care. It's for these kids that need that pediatric specialist in order to get better. So whether it's a pediatric neurologist or surgeon or oncologist, that's who we have here. And that's why we're a Children's Miracle Network hospital, and why those resources or funding for resources and programs is so important.
Absolutely.
What's one way where folks watching can donate to, or is there a link they can go to send donations?
Yeah, you can go to the SanfordHealthFoundation.org and you can click on Fargo, and then you can choose Children's or Sanford Children's, and that will go towards any of our special programs or services right here at Sanford Children's.
That's awesome. I'm going to highlight a few things that RE/MAX does. I know we've been to the RE/MAX convention for the last few years, and every year they have a huge silent auction and ice cream social. And it's just absolutely crazy, some of the silent auction stuff they have there. But even just partnering and what that looks like. So agents have the opportunity, and this is like the easiest thing ever. But we have a portal where we can go in and send gifts to our clients, or I've sent just to friends to say, hey, I've made a gift in your name. And then I can add, Sanford Children's on there. And then they send out really cool cards to clients to be able to do that. I know we have 3 agents that were recognized last year as miracle agents, and that means that they've donated a minimum of $500 to CMN. And that's something that I know there's a handful of us who just love to kind of get that tagline, because it's like really important that we keep doing that. And then we do have agents that market their listings as miracle homes. So you'll see those signs throughout the community. And those are really fun because homeowners get, they'll be out doing yard work and people stop and like, what is a miracle home, or what does this mean? And so it also draws attention to Sanford Children's and CMN. So super fun. And I have to show you my masks. This was a cool thing that RE/MAX International did. They chose 3 designs from kids, and they made these really cool masks, and then they donated back. So it's got the RE/MAX, CMN, and then some kid designs. So pretty RE/MAX does a lot in, instead of just saying, here's a charity that we support. They're really invested, and I know we love doing that. Kim and I are kind of nerds about it. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of like if one agent does it, it's like, oh, we better each do it. It's kind of this little like, oh crap, I need to donate too. So it's kind of a little like, oh my gosh, I have some guilt here. So we kind of guilt each other into it too. Courtney's perfect, but I'm like, oh no, gosh, I gotta be better at this. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, ladies, so much. Our RE/MAX program is really growing throughout the last couple of years, or has really grown for the last couple of years. And but it's because of great agents like you that really make this happen. So thank you so much for your support.
Oh yeah, we love it. One thing that I would say is probably my favorite thing is answering the phones during the phone-a-thon, and we have created quite a partnership with the Harley Owners Group, the Grand Forks Area Hogs, and so they're kind of our partners in crime, and so I know I look forward to that every year because answering the phone with them is the best.
Yes, we have our radiothon coming up sometime in March here. Our dates are a little bit right now in flex, but hopefully to have an announcement about that soon. So that's with our partners with XL 93 and 96.1 The Fox. Like you said, Courtney, our Grand Forks Hog, they're also doing their ride this year. We had to cancel last year due to the pandemic, but the first part of June, they'll be doing a ride for Children's Miracle Network. So we're excited to get back on the bikes, get back to normal, and do some great things for the kids.
Yeah, Remax, CMN, Harleys. I mean, we do it all here.
That's part about my job. We work with so many different people, and I just think it's so so wonderful just to see, you know, the communities just come together and make a huge difference for the kids. No matter whether it's eating blizzards from Dairy Queen, selling miracle homes, riding Harleys. I mean, the opportunities are endless, really.
Blizzard Days, actually, yeah, that's a good one too.
That is a good one.
That was also canceled last year, so we are fingers crossed that will happen this year, because I tell you what, I really missed having my ice cream that day.
Yeah, is it usually in like May?
July, end of July or early August. I think they're looking at the end of July again this year. So that hasn't quite been confirmed. We're still kind of in a holding pattern with that as well. But I know Dairy Queen is working hard to identify what Miracle Treat Day would look like this year.
Okay.
With the pandemic and everything, Hillary, how has that impacted CMN in Fargo?
Yeah, you know, it's really made us kind of sit back and look at the way we do things. A lot of things, of course, a lot of our events, we either snuck them in right before the pandemic or we had to cancel. So it was a very, very different year. But I tell you what, a lot of our partners came through because we're still able to do some type of fundraising that necessarily wasn't when we're gathering people together. So even though we didn't have Miracle Treat Day, our Dairy Queens really came out strong. They were still able to support us in other ways. With a coin shortage that happened, you know, Roundup campaign became a very popular campaign. I know the housing market was good for you guys as well. So Remax was still a very strong partner for us. You know, it was just really those times when we really had to cancel the events, which we did take a little bit of a hit, but people came through and supported us in other ways, which was, you know, great to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what a wild twist to things. And even just, I mean, thinking through like a blizzard, you know, like how that changes things, and simple events that we have. I know even early on, Dangerous Dave, we had been doing some work with him, and he's like, what do you think is going to happen with the radiothon? Like, where do we do it from? And he's like, I love ringing the bell and hearing you guys. So it's just thinking through the normal stuff that that's your life that you have to think through, but just the normal stuff you can't do.
And Radiothon will be a little different this year. We usually host it in the Sanford Clinic in East Grand Forks, but of course we won't be able to be in that setting this year. So I don't think the listeners will, be able to tell much of a change in the Radiothon, but for us on the back end, logistically, it will change a little bit as we'll be in studio. And we're still able to have a phone bank, which we're excited about, but a few little changes, but definitely we'll be able to still host a great event and share the stories of how children and families are impacted by the generosity of our communities. So we're excited. Again, Radiothon is one of my favorite events, and I think it's because we really can talk about those miracles that are happening beyond the walls at Sanford Children's Hospital, and the importance of supporting your local children's hospital and the impact that you can make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hearing, it's so hard when it's on the radio because, and there's something that happens, I think, like literally after you deliver a baby, like anytime you start hearing those stories, you just stop. And I like, before I could listen to them and it like pulled at my heartstrings, right? But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to change the station. It's like, I can't even do it. But having those stories are so impactful. And then being at the Radiothon and hearing and then seeing the kids. I know Kim had her kids there last year. And with Otto being in the NICU, it's just hearing the stories and seeing it. It's just such an impactful, few days. And I know we could hear it from the Fargo stations too up here. So definitely love to do that. So we could get like an air horn if we need to instead of the bell.
Yeah, we can probably be a little bit more rowdy this year if we're at the studio, not necessarily at the clinic. So that will be like a silver lining of COVID, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
Radmeyer, owner, realtor here, he's got a nice air horn that he keeps handy. So I will let him know to get that baby tuned up.
Just don't let him pull the prank and put it underneath your chair that moves up and down. So
don't Rod, come on.
The one question I did have was, can you tell us a little bit about the Children's Miracle Network North Dakota champion or the Fargo champion?
Yeah. So we have a new champion every year, and this year, our 2021, her name is Mackenzie Jost. She just turned 11 a couple weeks ago. Mackenzie has grown up at Sanford Children's Hospital. She was diagnosed, I think it was about 6 weeks after birth, with cystic fibrosis. So she has really had a long road ahead of her from the time she was born to where she's at now. She was just approved, and we're hopefully going to do a media story here next week, but she was just approved for a new drug that the FDA finally approved for a younger age, and this will really be a game changer for her. Last year alone, she was in the hospital 5 times for about 2 weeks at a time. So she spent a considerably long time in the hospital, amount of time at the hospital. And her mom just said she just, is kind of progressively getting worse, and it's getting a little bit harder to do more things. So we're excited about this new medication that will hopefully help kind of stop the progression of her disease and really allow her to do the things that she should be doing as an 11-year-old. But she is just this bright, shining star. I'm so excited to introduce her to you guys. She is, you talk with Mackenzie and your day is made, because she is just that great of a kid. She loves guinea pigs. So if you even bring that up in one sentence, you'll have a whole about 30-minute conversation just on guinea pigs, and you'll have to cut her off. So she's just outstanding. And, that's the rewarding part of this job, as well as I think for our partners to be a part of the Children's Miracle Network is meeting these kids and the medical struggles that they've gone through. It doesn't, like you look at Mackenzie, you wouldn't even know that she's sick. And they don't have time to be sick, right? Kids just don't have time to do that. And that's really what you see from them. They're so strong and courageous. And, you just kind of sit back and think to yourself, things aren't so bad for yourself when you meet these kids.
Well, for sure. And we will be down. You allowed me to meet our miracle Tyler, the miracle champion for 2020 last year, and we got creative and we stayed outside and we kept our distance and we did air high fives. So hopefully we can all meet again this summer and do something just as creative and meet her, because these kids are awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know if I shared, but Mackenzie's from Carrington, North Dakota, so she's not from the Fargo-Moorhead area, but she does travel to Fargo probably once or twice a month, just for her regular checkups with her specialty doctors for her cystic fibrosis. But again, she's just absolutely outstanding, just like all these kids that we get to introduce you to. But so excited to share her story.
Awesome.
That's awesome. We have one comment that came in from Wes Wells. He's with Remax in Lisbon, North Dakota. So.
Oh yes, Wes. He's awesome
Wes,
too.
It's your challenge this year to beat us at being a miracle agent. Let's see. We should have one of those thermometer tickers.
Yeah.
Beat Wes.
That's a great challenge right there.
Right? Yeah. We'll get after it. Well, any other questions that came in, Kimmy?
No, that was just the one that I saw. The comment that came through was from Wes.
Okay.
I challenged Wes to donate $20,000 this year.
Oh, did you see that? That's some breaking news there. Wes is going right now.
Oh, here's what he wrote. Bring it.
That's awesome. Wes donates $20,000. We'll have him on the show with you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good to hear from him. Thank you, Wes, for all that you do for us as well.
That's awesome. Well, we will we'll challenge Radmeyer to get his little air horn ready for Radiothon. Rodmeyer says Wes will pledge $100. So we'll get started on that. Look at this money rolling in. We just do a video.
Right? Exactly.
just let it roll in. We will plan a summer adventure to Fargo so we can hopefully do some, checking out of the hospital, whatever it looks like. And then Kim and I have our unicorn costumes that we feel like, our PPE. So our PPE. And so whenever it's socially acceptable to enter the hospital, we're ready. You just let us know.
Love it. We'd love to have you. I think that's what we're most excited about, is to get our doors back open to the public and move forward with a normal year. So fingers crossed. I think we're getting close, but we still have a little ways to go.
We'll get there. We're excited to continue an awesome year with you. And if anybody has questions, obviously we can connect you to Hillery. You can connect with us. We'd love to list your house as a miracle house, get you engaged however we can, and we'll point you towards the blizzards. Oh, Kim, who's giving you money now?
Oh, Wes. He just said $100 each transaction since they went to Remax. So
Wes, you're a rock star.
I know. Golly, he's outdoing us.
You're challenging Kim.
Our game here.
That's awesome. We'll let you go. You have big things to do today, no doubt, Hillery. So we'll let you go, and we'll probably check in with you. We'll have update once we know when the Radiothon's coming up and get people all excited for that.
Wonderful. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for all you do.
You
Bye,
too.
Hillery.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.